Hi, friends. Welcome to Cricket Caviar. From the historical city of Colombo to the coastal plains of Vizag and to the grandeur of Sydney and Melbourne, the cricketing action in this week now moves to Mount Maunganui in New Zealand. At Cricket Caviar, this is such an exciting week for us covering cricket action from different parts of the world. And now we are exciting to see this young South African side taking on New Zealand in New Zealand. It will be a very interesting two-match test series. And here with me is Shikhar to preview with me. Hi, Shikhar. How are you?
Hi Pradeep, thanks for the invite. Uh, first thing I want to talk about is the name of the series. That before we get into the technical details, so it's been a very interesting move to name this series. The winner of the series will get the Tangiwai Shield. Now, why this name has been given? Because in 1953 there was a trains disaster that happened in New Zealand. There was a train that was traveling from Christchurch to Auckland, and it crashed at a Wellington to Auckland on Christmas Eve. So festive occasion. A lot of
Yeah.
people were traveling from Wellington to Auckland, and the train crash happened at a place called Tangiwai, and so one of the victims, 151 people actually died because of this train accident in 1953, and one of the victims was fiance of a cricketer from New Zealand. His name was Bob Blair. His fiance unfortunately passed away in this train disaster, and this guy I mean, he didn't even get the news like very fast. He only
So
got to know
back
it
in the
on
days,
the,
right? 1950.
yeah, back in the days, he got to know it on the Boxing Day. So after almost 48 hours, you can say, he got to know. And uh, and when he got to know, he decided to stay at the hotel, at the team hotel, to grieve the loss of his wife. uh, and his name was Bob Blair. And everyone said, even the umpires were informed that Bob Blair has pulled out of this match and he has withdrawn. But when the ninth wicket fell for New Zealand, Bob Blair actually came out to bat, uh, and it was the entire like dressing room was stunned by the courage of this young man, Bob Blair. And to commemorate this event, this sad event, this shield has been named Tangibai Shield. And there are many
So who
trophies
was
that
New
are.
Zealand playing at that time in 1953? They were
They
playing.
were playing South Africa in Johannesburg. So they were in South Africa. New Zealand were
No, he
in
was
South
not in New
Africa.
Zealand. Bob was not in New Zealand.
No, he was in Johannesburg. He
I
was
was
in
trying to
South
think if
Africa.
there is a South African connection to the story. Oh,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm glad you pointed it out. I think I missed it. I got so much emotional in this narrative. I think I
it is
missed
very
it. So he was
inspirational and
he
emotional.
was in South Africa, and he got the news of his wife's passing, and he got really emotional. He said, "I will not come," but later he came, and even the South African players respected his decision. They actually made the both the flags fly at half-mast, which is the sign of mourning,
Hmm.
actually. And so this shield has been created by the Maori people. Some intricate designs have been used by the Maori people. I don't know the exact details, but yeah, people can read about it. And there has been appreciation from Dale Steyn and from many ex-cricketers about the naming of the shield, because it holds a significance
Yeah.
much bigger than some legends of the game. Like, we have won Muralitharan Trophy. No disrespect to any other trophies, but
Yes.
this is something special.
This
And
is
would
very thoughtful. I'm glad you shared this story with our
hmm,
Caviar family. Yeah, this is very inspirational.
hmm,
And I'm sure everyone, whether it is South Africa, New Zealand, even we can feel the pain of Bob and what he has done at that
yeah.
time in his life. Yeah.
And coming to the series now, one of the most shocking stat that people will not believe when they hear it is New Zealand has never beaten South Africa in a test series. It has been
What?
17 test series.
What?
Yeah, yeah,
Wow.
17 test series played between New Zealand and South Africa. 13 have been won by South Africa. Four series are drawn. So New Zealand has never beaten South Africa either home or away. That's the most shocking stat. Uh,
That's just like a real
Probably.
domination. Like maybe Australia has over New Zealand, right? You see, they're equally matched
Hmm.
almost, and then one team is still like similarly. India has never let Sri Lanka win a test match in India. That's
In India. Yeah. And in fact, New Zealand and South Africa, they are a very rare kind of, they meet very rarely. So we forget this fact. Even I remember that I read this last time also when New Zealand toured South Africa for a two test series. And I even must have told you about this fact. But our mind just forgets this because New Zealand and South Africa, we don't see them as rivals. We don't see them
yeah,
as going at each other throats like we see India and Australia, India or England,
yeah,
Australia and New Zealand. We don't see them in that respect. So yeah, it's great. I mean, I love these two nations, and most of their actually sporting relationship is based on rugby because recently. Even in the Rugby World Cup final, these two teams met up and
yeah.
South Africa beat New Zealand by 1 point. So they have a great sporting rivalry. But yeah, this is the greatest chance for New Zealand because South Africa has obviously you're going to talk about the squad, and South
Yeah.
Africa has named a squad which is like their B or C side strength squad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was I remember at Cricket Caviar when it was announced, we were not supportive of it. But then again, cricket South Africa has their justification for doing this. And
Hmm.
I mean, all said and done, like Rachin Ravindra, I was hearing him, and he still said that we are not going to take South Africa lightly by any means. They have a very good
Hmm.
sporting culture. They have this knack to fight, and we are expecting a good cricket match. So they are
Hmm.
prepared to like not take South Africa lightly. Do
Hmm.
you want me to share the screen of probable 11 that
Yeah,
we?
yeah.
Okay, let's start there.
So yeah, I think it's a great opportunity for many South African players who will probably never get to play a test match again. I mean, many of these players may not get to play test cricket again, so I think it's a great opportunity. And I respect someone like David Bedingham, who actually refused a South Africa contract, SA20 contract for playing this series. I mean, massive respect to this guy for giving up probably luxurious car, or
Mm.
he could have bought a luxurious house from that money,
Yeah,
and sacrificing that for playing test cricket. And also I one person I didn't like is Tony DeZorzi because he was also picked in this squad, but he was given a last minute SA20 contract, so
yeah.
he has withdrawn from the squad. And Edward
Even after
Moore
having a
has.
magical start to his career, right, against India in that tour, he impressed with in the ODIs, test matches, everything. But
Yeah,
he
absolutely.
did not decide to play this series. That's a little bit sad.
Yeah, and so the last minute addition to the side is Edward Moore. He has been added. I was seeing his stats. He's a decent opener. He has been actually been on the scene, South Africa domestic scene for a long time. And let's see what Edward Moore can do because
Yeah,
Neil Brand, the captain, is also going to uh, open the batting, and we
yeah.
have
Those two look
Keegan
set in the
Peterson.
opening. I want to add one more thought before we get
Yeah, yeah.
discussing the 11. Like you said, most of these players might not get a chance to play Test cricket for South Africa again. But at the
Hmm,
same time, it is a great opportunity to impress and try to break into that 11, right? The main 11. I remember there
hmm,
was a series between Sri Lanka and Pakistan like 5 or 6 years ago where Sri Lankan team was the
hmm,
first one to go to Pakistan again, right after that
hmm,
big uh, decade that no one toured Pakistan. So because they were going to Pakistan, many main players withdrawn, and so new guys were sent for that tour. And
hmm,
surprisingly, Sri Lanka ended up winning the series 2-1. And from that
hmm,
series, some new players came into the main side. They were able to break into the main side. One of them was
hmm,
Rajapaksa. And now Rajapaksa is a big player. He plays IPL. He plays for Sri Lanka. He's like a biggest name in the
And
market.
Pratik very rightly pointed out, and we have seen so many instances like India toured Australia with
Mm.
almost a seaside after Virat Kohli pulled out, and so
And
many
many
players
players.
got injured.
Yeah,
That is an inspiration. Then you see West Indies now going with seven new faces and winning a Test match in Gabba. So there have been instances where actually, see, even these cricketers, they toil a lot. Like I've seen the records of Edward Moore, he's averaging 40 in South African domestic first class cricket.
yeah,
These guys toil a lot. They've been there for 7 8 years. Keegan Peterson has been the highest scorer in the South African domestic
yeah,
competition so many times. So these people play a lot of domestic cricket, Test cricket, I mean not Test cricket but first class cricket. So
yes.
it's a great opportunity, and they will be ready. I'm sure they will be ready. Someone like Dane Patterson, who is going to lead the attack, it will be a great opportunity, because when Norkia comes, when Rabada comes back, when Ngidi comes back, he
Mm.
will never get that opportunity. So it's a great opportunity for Dane Patterson,
Yes.
Duan Olivier, all these guys. They will be on their toes.
Yeah, and it's funny you mentioned the West Indies match. Their coach also, Shukri Conrad, mentioned that we will take inspiration from that West Indies win against Australia. And
Hmm.
I guess, yes, why not? There was such a phenomenal win by the young
Hmm.
West Indian side, and South Africa can definitely look to do the same. They will. I always feel also, Shikhar, that South Africa and New Zealand share similar batting. I mean, the pitch conditions and stuff, right? Like,
Hmm.
it is always difficult for openers. The ball will seam and swing, and
Yeah.
I'm already expecting a bowler-friendly pitch. Maybe this can be a low scorer because there it has been raining for the last
Hmm.
2 days in before this eve of the match.
And Pratik, don't forget the venue for the first Test match. It is Mount Maunganui,
Yes,
and this is the venue where New Zealand actually lost to Bangladesh. And
2 years ago. Yes,
even
yeah.
yeah, 2 years ago they lost to Bangladesh on New Year's Day, and even after before that they had a very close shave with Pakistan on this Test match. So
Oh,
this is a Test match. Mitchell Santner actually won them that Test match by taking a fantastic cotton
yeah.
bowled
This is that
bowled
venue where
catch.
opposition actually compete in New Zealand more than often.
Yeah, so actually, I think spinner will be important here, and Dane Piet is actually South Africa's spinner who's traveling for this.
And
And
Saudi
let's
has
see.
hinted that Rachin will play. This is again a weird thing.
Hmm.
Rachin last played a test match was that against Bangladesh where they lost. So Rachin is playing a test match after 2 years.
Oh, wow. Why is he playing? But in whose place he'll be playing? I think it will be, so openers will be Tom Latham will be opening in tests, I guess, right?
Yeah.
And
Devon Conway.
Devon Conway. Okay, this is the probable 11 that you've put up. So Tom Latham,
Yeah.
Devon Conway, these were the anyway the natural choices. Kane
Yes.
Williamson. Okay, so Rachin Ravindra will come at number 4. That's a bit surprising.
I'm a little bit
But what
confused,
happened to
like
Henry
because I don't want to
Nichols?
push down Daryl Mitchell also, right, at the same time. But
Hmm.
because Rachin Ravindra is a top order player, I feel like he might come ahead of Daryl Mitchell.
I think Henry Nichols, the grinder, whom we call the grinder, he has been replaced
Yeah.
because
But
I
why? He
wonder
was such a
what happened
good
to him.
complete test player, right? Like I'm a little bit surprised too. Like he was a
Yeah,
gritty player, if you remember.
yeah, Henry Nichols. I think he's not in the squad. Maybe he's. I think he's injured or something
Yeah, I guess
because.
that is the only reason Rachin is able to get into this team because he
Hmm.
was not able to get in otherwise.
And of
Yeah.
course, Neil Wagner is there. Mitchell
And
Santner,
then
Tim
the
Southey, and
only
Phil
other
Johnson.
batter choice they have is Will Young. So, but I don't think Will Young will play because Tom Latham and Conway are pretty much sorted for openers.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So yeah,
No, I
Rachin
don't
will get
see.
in. Mitchell will be five though. I don't know how you feel about that because he has played the most matches for New Zealand in the last 2 years, and he is
Hmm.
always a key player in any of the format. Like he's always taking that extra
Hmm.
responsibility,
Yeah,
and he
he's.
gives that counter attack punches to the opposition.
I mean, after Kane Williamson, he's been their best batsman by far.
Yeah.
And of course, Kane Williamson is too good in home conditions. Most of his hundreds and runs come in home conditions. but Mitchell has been even good abroad also. So he's one of the best batsmen. And if you remember the New Zealand series, actually they've done a great job by including Glenn Phillips into the scheme of things, because Glenn Phillips won them
I,
that
I think he comes
test
because
match.
of his reward from the Bangladesh performance. He was so good in
Yeah,
Bangladesh. He made them square the series in Bangladesh when they were 1-0 down.
absolutely. He was so instrumental in that last test match. I think it was in Dhaka that last test match was
He was
played.
unplayable and he hit a fifth match winning 50 there. So yeah. And he
50,
also
and
made,
he took some wickets. He took
yeah.
some key wickets also with his off spin.
Don't think he'll
So
get to
yeah,
bowl here, especially if it has rained before the match. Yeah. But he
yeah.
has battered like, yeah, he has definitely shown
But
that.
again, Mount Mangunu, you can never tell. It assists spin, so he may actually bowl. And yeah, I think fast bowlers are Tim Southee, Kyle Jamieson, and Neil
Neil
Wagner.
Warren, very
So
impressive.
this
I
will
think
be the
these three
pace
are
attack.
very, very formidable attack. I mean, even though New Zealand is missing Trent Bolt, who only plays in special tournaments now,
Hmm.
but this is still a
I
very
think Matt Henry may also get preference over Kyle Jamieson, because Kyle Jamieson has not played for a long time, and
yes,
Matt Henry has been playing continuously. So it can happen that they may choose Matt Henry.
yes, yeah. I think they might go with Matt Henry. Yeah, I should add.
Although Kyle Jamieson is a better all rounder, like he has batting
Yes,
skills too. Yeah,
but yeah, and yeah, coming back to South Africa's team. So, like we discussed,
yeah,
openers will be Neil Brand and Edward Moore.
yeah. So Neil Brand is the captain. He's been scoring well in domestic cricket. Edward Moore averages 40. But I think the eyes will be on the middle order, because the middle order uh, actually is very strong. It's not a B side middle order.
Yeah,
You know, Zubair Hamza, Keegan Peterson, and David
Zubair Hamza
Bedingham.
again. We have seen him in the other formats, I think. And
Yeah, yeah.
my eyes will be on Bedingham. The way he made his debut against India, he was so.
And Zubair Hamza and Keegan Peterson, they've been the top run scorers of domestic competition multiple times. So they
Okay.
actually play very well in domestic competition. And this new guy Reynard Van Tonder, he actually scored very well in the practice game that they recently had,
We'll
where
take a
they
look
took
at
the
that
lead.
as well, so that it will give our viewers
Hmm.
some like sort of context, like how these players are playing, right? Because most of us don't know
Hmm.
them yet.
But actually, what will matter is the bowling, because bowling is the one which will win you the match in New Zealand. And I think spinner is okay, Dane Piet, but Dwan Oliver and Dane
Even
Patterson will
Oliver, I
actually.
remember he troubled Pakistan in one of the test series. Like he was taking seven first and
Oh,
six first. He comes in with
I
a short
feel
run up, and his line and length is so good. Yeah,
actually, the Brexit totally killed his plan. He wanted to leave South Africa and go back to England to play county cricket
yeah.
and live there as an English citizen. But unfortunately, because of the Brexit, the Kolpak deal was cancelled, and he had to come back to South Africa.
Not
Then
unfortunate
he
for South
played.
Africa's talent coming back to home, like not at all. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Only two names I don't know. I have not heard at all are Clyde Fortuin and Milhali
Melali, yeah,
Mopaguana. So these two names I don't know about. I don't know. It will be
yeah.
fun to see what they do.
Yeah, let's
But
see the yeah,
yeah,
let's see the scorecard for the teams, right?
mm,
So this one, yeah, this was that practice
yeah,
match that you were talking about.
yeah.
And look at
You can
Neil Brand.
see
He retired after 46. He's like, okay, I've got enough practice. I want my other boys to play.
even Ryan Van Tonder got a retired not out 54. Zubair Hamza got a retired not out. Keegan Peterson also retired
This is
not
very
out.
impressive. So they hardly
Uh,
got out. This suggests that, it was very
mm,
difficult for. Oh yeah, as you can see, like New Zealand bowlers were only able to pick 4 wickets. Everyone else retired out.
yeah. And even Jacob Duffy is an international. He has played international also.
Yeah.
So it was not very weak of a bowling attack.
I've
Mm.
seen Fortune in maybe like a T20 match. Shikhar, I remember.
That's different fortune, Pratik. That's
Oh,
beyond
oh
fortune.
yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
that's beyond fortune. This is
So
Clyde
he's a
Fortune.
wicket keeper. So he's a wicket
He's
keeper.
the He's the wicket keeper. Yeah, Clyde Fortune is the
And
wicket keeper.
Melali is, I think, he's a bowler, but bowling all rounder.
Hmm.
Okay. Oh, he's a fast bowler. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. He will be the third pacer after
And he was,
Dane Patterson and Duan Olivier. He'll be the Kaya Zondo is also in the squad. Kaya Zondo is also
I think that's it. And Dane Patterson actually picked 4 wickets. Neil Brand bowls as well, man. He took 2 wickets. So
oh, nice. I
yeah,
wonder what he bowls.
yeah. But this will
But
be very interesting, yeah, to watch. Like new players coming in, and I
hmm,
mean, but the main fact lies is that South Africa is such a sporting culture. Even though this is a B side, C side, I'm sure the players are going to give their 100%. And that is something that New Zealand cannot be complacent, especially before the start of the series.
so Dane Patterson has actually made his debut versus England. The series they lost to England at home just before COVID. Actually, this
Oh,
series happened. So he
yeah.
has already played 2 test matches. I mean, the test was not a great outing for him, but his first class average is actually very good. 23. He averages 23 in
I'm
first
trying to
class
understand
cricket.
who will be the spinner for South Africa. They're not going to play a spin.
Dane Piet. Dane Piet.
Oh,
Dane
I get
Piet will
confused
be
between the two.
the
Both are Dane and both are P. So, okay, there's a
yeah, he's the right arm off
off
break.
break.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
And
Dane
Dane
Piet.
Peters
Dane. So
has
yeah, there is a confusion between Dane Patterson and Dane Piet. Both
yeah,
are
yeah,
DP. Yeah,
yeah.
but
And Dane Peters has
one is the
already
lead bowler and one
played
is
Test
the
cricket. Yeah, he has played 9 matches. I remember in some. I think he toured India too, if I'm not wrong. Yeah.
yes, he has come to India. Yeah,
Yeah.
he has come to India. In that 2019 series, I think he came to India.
Yes, that's how I
Yeah.
remember his name. So yeah, he
Hmm.
was like second spinner after Maharaj.
I don't know why they didn't pick Simon Harmer. Where is that guy? He came back in that some series,
Yeah, he
but
was even
again he's
playing
a
in. They were actually playing two spinners just to give respect to both Simon Hammer and Maharaj. They were playing together, but he only played
hmm,
like 2 series, I remember, and then he suddenly disappeared. He's a class.
yeah,
I don't know where he is at the moment.
yeah,
Maybe he retired. We don't know, right? Because he was already in the mid
hmm,
30s.
yeah. But what's your prediction, Pratik, for this series? I mean, I don't know where the second test match is.
Yeah,
So
my
Henry
prediction.
Nichols has been dropped. I just checked about Henry Nichols. He has been
Wow, that's a big one
dropped, and
because
actually he's facing a ball tampering charge. Wow, that's interesting.
oh my,
He's facing a ball tampering charge and in a Plunkett Shield, which is their domestic tournament. He's facing a
what did you do,
investigation there.
Nichols? What did you do? The second is in Hamilton. So again, I
Second match is at Hamilton, Sedon Park. Okay.
yeah, this is
So,
actually interesting because New Zealand doesn't generally have matches in Auckland, Christchurch, but these two matches are not in the main
hmm.
events. Yeah, I would say
I mean,
2-0, like,
I feel
because
sad for.
New Zealand
I
is
feel.
formidable side at home. That's why even if South Africa's main side was traveling, I would have maybe said 1-1. At this time, I would say 2-0, just because the kind
Hmm,
of experience they have at the playing at home. Plus, Kane Williamson is playing this series, which always gives them a little bit of an advantage, the New Zealand side.
yeah. And I feel sad actually. I feel really sad for South Africa because I really want them to qualify for one of the WTC, at least
Final.
one of the WTC finals.
They were very
And
good last time as well. They were in the mid 40s and the cutoff was like maybe 50%. So they did really well last
yeah,
time as well.
and this time they have started okay. They won a test match versus India, and if you see they have home versus all Asian teams. They have home matches with India, Pakistan, and Sri Lanka. They
Yeah.
have away with Bangladesh, away to New Zealand and West Indies.
West
So
Indies
this is
very
the
good.
best cycle that actually South Africa can get because they should be beating Pakistan, they should be beating Sri Lanka at home, and they should be winning in West Indies. They probably I'm saying they should be winning in West Indies and Bangladesh also they could have at least challenged. But yeah, now
Interestingly,
with
Shikhar,
the
now I
seaside,
remember that South Africa also went to New Zealand in the last cycle and they did 1-1 there, if you remember. They came back in
yeah, they did,
again
and
because there
that
is so
time
much cricket
also,
played. I just at the last moment I'm remembering this fact, but yeah,
yes. Actually, we covered that series, Pratik, and even at that time, that's what I said earlier to
I
you.
remember Elgar
Actually,
made a statement like about his side after the second test when they came back because no one expected them to came back to come back.
actually, even at that time, they actually, the series was level 1-1, and even at that time, we discussed this that New Zealand has never won a series
Yeah,
versus
they were
South
denied, yeah,
Africa.
again a draw. Yeah.
Yeah, and actually, in the first test, New Zealand won by 276 innings and 276 runs. I mean, that was such
Coming
an
back from that,
outrageous.
position, that's remarkable by the South African side. So
So
yeah,
South
let's
Af
hope for another miracle, maybe like something, some stuff like Shamar Joseph, something like that. And if the series also goes 1-1, New Zealand will be kicking themselves, right? This is a very good chance for them to finally create history by beating South Africa in a series.
One more interesting thing before we end, I think I should tell Matt Henry was actually the man of the match, man of the series in
Oh.
this series. So I was just checking
And I think
the
he will
scorecard,
play ahead of Kyle Jamieson. Yeah.
and Sarel Larvi actually scored 100. I don't know where he went. Also,
Yes.
Colin de Grandhomme was playing that series. He scored 100. But yeah, I mean, Rabada and Henry, they played a great part in this series. So let's see what happens. I hope Dane Patterson and Dane Piet do something, along with Duan Olivier, all the D's,
And Bedingham with
Dwayne's,
his class, Neil Brand and
David Bedingham. So D is the word for South Africa.
lots to look forward to in this series. Even though we might say this is not a equal competition, but you never know. South Africa can sprung a surprise.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Thank you,
I
Shikar.
would also say New Zealand 2-0. 2-0 for New
2-0.
Zealand. But
Yeah.
yeah, let's hope for some exciting cricket and some good pitches which will give South Africa an opportunity.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, guys.
Both the teams are actually on 50% on WTC cycle.
At
So
the
that's
moment,
also
yes.
interesting. Yeah. Thanks, Pratik. Thank you
Yeah.
for
Please like, subscribe,
organizing
and
this.
thank you, guys. We are excited to bring more cricket coverage to you. Thank you.
Thank you.